Hello, English 1B students. Let's do some poetry. Okay, let's do some poetry. Um, Great short poems, $3 book. I asked you to buy it at the beginning of the semester. Um, if you don't end up having it, all of the poetry in here can be found online. Not as a nice little collection. Instead, you'd have to click, 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 and search, 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 but it's doable what we're going to do. Okay. Again, we're practicing our analytical skills in the field of art, in the field of literature. Poetry can be about a moment. It could be about an interaction. It could be about a relationship. It could be about feelings. It could be about ideas. You can do anything in a poem. And the main idea, and normally, people don't read poetry in English class. They actually read poetry because they want to. Now, you probably listen to a fair amount of music, and if you listen to music with lyrics, poetry. Okay. So here I'm going to just model as quickly as I can 2 short poems and the sort of thing that I do with them. Okay. All right. Now the first poem I'm going to look at is on page 15 and it's called Jenny Kissed Me by a man named Leigh Hunt. Now, or Leigh Hunt. I should look that up. Okay. Leigh Hunt was a friend of Mary Shelley's and of her husband, Percy Shelley. And so there's a slight connection. Now, this is a poem that was written later in life by Leigh Hunt, and it's about something that actually happened. This isn't in the poem. Well, some of this is in the poem. That is, he came into a room, and somebody spontaneously gave him a kiss. And he was thrilled by that. And so he wrote a poem about it. Okay, so here's the poem. Jenny kissed me. Jenny kissed me when we met, jumping from the chair she sat in. Time, you thief who love to get sweets into your list, put that in. Say I'm weary. Say I'm sad. Say that health and wealth have missed me. Say I'm growing old, but add, Jenny kissed me. Okay, so the short poem, 8 lines, 1 stanza here. Lots of rhyme, lots of jaunty movement. Okay, I think all that. Though I read it with feeling, but I got my signals from the rhymes running around and the sort of jaunty move of the words based on a regular reading. Okay, because it's a jaunty poem. It's about a happy memory. Okay, and you might relate to that. You might have for yourself. I mean, think about it. Happy memories that might not mean much to someone else, but they're yours. They happen to you. And, there are times when you pull them out and look at them because you know what? They make you feel better. Okay. Now, some of us have those sort of moments where, you know, they're darker moments and you pull them out and they make you sad. This poem is not about that. Okay. This is a happy poem, even as it faces loss. Okay. Time, you thief. I mean, is time a thief? I mean, think about that. I mean, if we were in class, I'll bet at least half of the people in the room right now would say, yes, time's a thief. I mean, hey, it's stolen most of the color from my hair. It used to be stronger. All that kind of stuff. Time's a thief. You miss opportunities. You have to, move on in life. I mean, time takes all sorts of stuff away from us, not to be a downer. And he would put, Jenny kissed me. Jenny kissed me when we met, jumping from the chair she sat in. Okay, that's a spontaneous thing, right? I mean, think about how you'd feel if you came in the room and someone went, hey, because they were so happy to see you. Okay, come on, that's a happy memory. Time, you thief who love to get sweets into your list, put that in. Okay, here you are, thief. You like to collect these things from us and take it as if time was a character. This is called personification, actually. And I think if it were harder for us to understand, this would have to be a longer poem. But I think most of us can relate the idea that time steals things from us. Okay, and he's sort of saying, like, talking to this character like, haha, well, you've taken stuff, but this goes on my side of the list. Jenny kissed me. But look how say I'm weary, say I'm sad, say that health and wealth have missed me, say I'm growing old, but add, Jenny kissed me. Right? So he's tired, he's weary, he's sad. His health and his wealth doesn't have those two things. They're gone. Growing old, but Jenny kissed me. Okay. The kind of moments in life that matter, the sort of things that we get to put up against the losses that we face as time moves on. But again, the emphasis is on the happy memory. Okay, and this is one thing. People might say, well, what's the poem mean? How do I know? And frankly, I think most poems have like 95% clear clues of how we're supposed to understand them. And then there's a little bit here. We're supposed to appreciate a happy memory that stands out for us as a positive, and a kind of positive that you can weigh against the negatives. Last point with this poem is that what I love about this, besides the jaunty quality of the poem, is the way in which it's a small thing that counts, in a sense. It's the human connection that counts here. I did a little bit of research on this poem, and because I was interested in it, and I don't expect you to research every poem or even any of them probably, but I was curious, and so I wanted to find out, was this like a poem to somebody he was like he married or he was in love with? And no, it was just a dear friend of his, happened to be female, the wife of a good friend of his. And Leigh Hunt had been sick for some time. I mean, seriously ill, to the point of like thinking that he might die. And he recovered. And this was his first sort of outing beyond his house to see some friends. And so when he showed up, the friend was happy enough to jump up and give him a kiss. I think that's sweet. There isn't always a historical record to go with the poems that we have. For example, I don't know what the background is in this next kiss poem by Sara Teasdale, a little later in history. It is on page... I had it marked, but I dropped it. Okay. Just a couple more seconds here. Don't want to... I should trim this part. I'm sorry. Aha! Page 48. Sorry. So, here's a little poem called The Kiss. And it's about... You've typed it up. You can read it. Ideally, you reread it while I was sitting there trying to find the page. Okay. Page 48, bottom of 48. Sara Teasdale is the author. This is a poem about expectation and disappointment. It's about imagination and reality. Okay? The Kiss. I hope that he would love me, and he has kissed my mouth. But I am like a stricken bird that cannot reach the south. For though I know he loves me, tonight my heart is sad. His kiss was not so wonderful as all the dreams I had. Okay, she thought it was going to be great. She thought she was in love with this guy. And you know what? Based on that kiss, not so much. Wasn't wonderful. Okay. Some people in the room may have had that experience. You think it's going to be great, but the physical chemistry just isn't there. Or the physical, I don't know, skill. Okay. So to me, this is a poem about an idea. Something that we end up encountering in many ways, which is, expectation and disappointment. Anticipation and reality. And here there's a sort of sad tone to it. Okay, well, this is early in the relationship because it's the first kiss, apparently. So it can't be that serious. And yet, it's presented. Now, let's look a little bit more closely at the poem. I hope that he will love me, and he has kissed my mouth. Okay, so there's the up mood, right? It's like, she hoped. The kiss happened. Where are we headed? But we got the contrast word, next line. But, so we know, something's wrong. But I am like the stricken bird that cannot reach the south. Now, a stricken bird is a sick bird, a sad bird. To be stricken is always a bad thing. You're never stricken with good luck, for example. You get lightning struck, right? Okay, the stricken bird who cannot reach the south. Okay, if you think of the kind of birds that migrate, she's like the bird. I don't get to migrate in the south, like to the warmer. I'm stuck in the cold. Okay, that would go with the negative, sort of the kiss didn't work, that kind of thing. Okay, now you might have to stop and think about this, but it's a short poem. You read 8 lines, you go back, reread it. And she's feeling like a bird that was hoping to fly down to warm paradise and nope, stuck in the cold. Okay. For though, she's going to keep explaining, for though I know he loves me. Okay, now he kissed her with earnestness, right? I mean, she'd hope for love. He loves. For though I know he loves me, tonight my heart is sad. His kiss was not so wonderful as all the dreams I had. It just didn't. Okay, now here's where you might think it gets tricky. Well, maybe she's got really high expectations. Maybe she wasn't fair to the poor guy. Maybe the guy just needs a little bit of practice. Okay, all of that may be true. And with a short poem, you get to go to those places. Now, I think the emphasis isn't on she's not a nice person. No, not at all. I think the emphasis is on that feeling that I'm sure some of you have had where you thought it was going to be better than it was. Okay, I often feel when I was when my when I was a vegetarian for a while, but every once in a while I would eat, you know, I would want a good cheeseburger. Okay. But you know what? I would wait and wait, and finally, I'd break my little vegetarian pact and get a burger, get a nice cheeseburger, maybe bacon on it, maybe some onions, tomato. Never matched up to my imagination. Now, this might be a silly thing, right? Because, like, come on, dude, it's food. But, she's at the point of the relationship. She hoped he loved her. He sure seems like he loves me. But the kiss, I mean, who knows, right? Longer poem, we'd find out deal breaker. Okay, my real point. 2 short poems, both about kisses. One, a jaunty, happy poem, despite losses, and the other, a kind of sad poem. But I also think we're meant to maybe laugh a little bit at the person, either relate, yeah, I had that happen, or that's how life works. Maybe about disappointment and expectation, or maybe we are supposed to think like, man, she's sure putting a lot on a kiss. I mean, if this is supposed to be about love, and we get to go to those places, I can clarify what's in the poem, and then I can clarify where I tend to take it. Okay, I think that's enough for practice for today. Okay, hope you guys are doing well. Thanks.